I'm Christy. Today I want to talk about how persistence wins the day. You know how when something is hanging over your head forever and then you persist until it's finally accomplished and you're not quite sure how to feel about it? Well, that's kind of where I'm at. I finally completed AJ's SSI application. Now, as I mentioned last time, I've got a link to that post in the blog. You can find that at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This one originally posted in November of 2021. I had contacted a few people to get pointers on getting this application completed. The short version was I needed to call our local office since all Social Security offices are still officially closed to visitors without an appointment, and I think appointments are pretty hard to get. Ugh. I didn't want to call. I predicted hours on hold, and I couldn't even start until 2 o'clock on any given day, and I had to call from home because I had to have AJ around to give them permission to talk to me. Double ugh. I finally decided I was going to call on a Monday when AJ didn't have work or training, and it was an official holiday. By the time I actually called, it was after 2 p.m., so that was kind of a moot point. But I called and waited on hold for over 5 minutes, only to be disconnected because of high call volume. Yes, they disconnected me. Please call back during non-peak hours of 11 to 3 daily. I am calling during non-peak hours, people. So I waited a few minutes and called back, and waited on hold for nearly 15 minutes before being disconnected for high call volume. Again. Now I was annoyed. So I waited a few more minutes and called back. A third time. And I waited on hold for about 20 minutes. Finally, I got a real live person. Only to find out this guy was in training and he would take my name and number, well, technically AJ's name and my number, and have someone call me back. But it was about 3 o'clock at this point, and I highly doubted anybody was going to call me back that day. But whatever. I'd give it a few days and hope they called back when AJ was available. But lo and behold, about a half hour later, a lady actually called me back. She talked to AJ for a couple of minutes, got a couple of pieces of information from him, got his permission to talk to me, and took the application over the phone. 45 minutes later, maybe 50, she had all the information she needed. Application complete. She then proceeded to tell me she was sending the application to our state capitol to the determination board. They would contact the doctors for confirmation or proof of disability. We should hear something by mail in 4 to 6 months. If we have anything we need to add or change, I can contact her and she'll forward the information for me. And then we hung up. Actually, it kind of felt anticlimactic, but it was definitely a relief to be able to check that off my list. Sort of, anyway. A few days later, technically AJ, got a letter in the mail with a written copy of the application. Please confirm all this information is correct. Contact us within 10 days with any changes. Otherwise, here's your proof of application. We'll get back to you in 90 to 120 days. Well, 3 to 4 months is better than 4 to 6, but whatever. I've also had people tell me it could be as little as 1 to 2 months. So I figure sometime between now and, the end of March, we'll hear something. Now, while we wait, I've started looking into housing options and begun asking about finding a job for AJ. I've ruled out one local organization or one option for AJ because they don't coordinate any supports there on the property. The organization owning the buildings only acts as the landlord or property manager. Any other supports that are needed are the responsibility of the individual to coordinate with other organizations, which is fine, except that AJ can't yet cook for himself. And this place is at least a half an hour away, if not an hour in traffic. I'm not convinced he'd let me know if dinner didn't show up. So yeah, that's not such a good idea. I'm kind of back at the drawing board on both housing and work. But I'm working to stay on top of both of these, and fortunately, they're a bit less intimidating than trying to apply for SSI, at least in my mind. As we look ahead to the holidays, we're anticipating traveling for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. Plans are in place for us to head to Denver to spend Thanksgiving with my in-laws. Sean will drive down from school and meet us there. I'm really looking forward to seeing him again face to face. AJ is eagerly anticipating Thanksgiving as well, but I also think it's going to be an incredibly interesting holiday. One of his computer games releases the day we leave for Denver. He's been counting down to this release since they gave a release date and it went on pre-order, like 5 months ago. He even made me count down how many Mondays until it releases once he purchased the pre-order. And now we're making him wait almost another entire week until he'll get to play it. I suspect it's going to be a long week of hearing him talk about Little Us. Now, on the other hand, he's also looking forward to going to Denver and seeing Nana and Papa. And maybe even Sean. He does seem less antagonistic towards Sean, which is something that I was hoping would happen. Plans are in the work for us to head to Texas for Christmas to visit my sister-in-law and her family at their new place. Well, relatively new. They moved a bit over a year ago, and we were supposed to go out there last Christmas, but, well, yeah. We all decided that wasn't such a smart move, so we're going to go this year. It should be a good trip, and at least we don't have to cross the Rockies for Christmas. As always, I find myself grateful as we head into Thanksgiving. This year, I'm especially grateful to have this one huge weight off my shoulders. Now to wait patiently, or maybe not so patiently, for an answer, and hope I don't have a long battle on my hands. But I'm choosing to think positively and not let my mind wander too far off ahead into the land of what ifs. I'm reminded that persistence does pay off. It wins in the end. Because I persisted and pushed through all of the mind games, I completed this important step in moving AJ forward in the life he dreams of living. I've proven once again that I can do hard things. I'm also reminded that, as the parent and caregiver of someone with special needs, I don't have a lot of choice in how persistent I need to be. If I want AJ to be able to live his best life, I have to be willing to persist and fight and advocate for him. Yes, it's tiring at times, but the payoff is totally worth it. Watching him thrive in the life he envisions for himself, and that makes all of the struggle more than worth it. So my question for you this week is this. Have you accomplished any piece of your big paralyzing obstacle? I'd love to hear about your progress so that I can cheer you on. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. Again, that's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in November of 2021. If you prefer, you can also email me at Christy, CHRISTY, at havenofhopeforme.com. I'm grateful to have the application submitted so that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.